Okay, I'll just go through this as all the markings on here. That is the locking mechanism here. Can you see that? Yeah. Give you a close up of it. And what it does, it has a profile that fits the tooth exactly. Probably can see that. So that fits in there nice and snug. It can't go anywhere. It's locked in. And then I have put all these marks on from here. At the moment I've got marked up for 10 spots. While this saw blade is a 100 tooth saw blade, and it's never been hand sharpened, so we know it's good to go. I personally know that. And I've got increments of 10 around there, so that's the markings I'll be putting on here first. And it's quite easy. All I have to do is set my depth, and I keep it continuously the same depth all the way around for all the markings. The 10 marking is 1/10 markings is 8 mil. 20th markings, which is twice the amount. Okay, they are 6 mil long, and each tooth, which represents one, there'll be 100 markings at 3 mil the length. So eventually we'll have all those markings transcribed onto here. Now you've got to keep wits about you, otherwise you could end up in the manure. The things that can go wrong, that's why I've been practicing, is if you don't take it back far enough, you can put a mark on there, because you must turn it always there. You do not turn it by the chuck, you always turn it by this, and you undo that first. Right, okay, we'll give it a go, see what happens. I have 2 runs over the same marking, and make sure I'm not touching the tool and my edge, cutting edges away from the what's name, and then I'll just move this like that. Move it like that. Sorry, round to that one there. And do my next groove. Right, so That's every 10 position has been marked. 10 positions all around the radius. I'll put that there and I'll show you. You see those marks here? And they're all 8 mils long. So we have finished it. This here is, well, I grip it because this turns on this part here. It fits onto this area here. It's just got to be a touch smaller in length than this, so it doesn't grab in between that and the other part on the compound slide. This is the measuring mechanism for the lathe and or for the compound slide, and well, all I have to do now is clean up all these edges here, and I'll bring it back when I'm finished. They have all little sharp burrs on there. It's not acceptable. Okay, and then you might see that I've got an O-ring on there. I'm going to try this, see if that works as a brake system. You've got to know the size of the O-ring and what to machine this to, and availabilities of O-rings. You think go crap. If this fails, I'll put a 3-hole spring system with the ball bearing in there. At the finishing stages of the compound slide, one of the things that I had a look at, see if it worked properly, is the mechanisms to stop this turning while you turn the main shaft on the bottom here. I'll show you. This one here. This here gets connected into there. There's a little gap, about 1/2 hour in between that surface and that surface there, so this doesn't interfere on this surface here. You'll see it will come clear as mud as I started. Now what I'm going to do, well, what I made up is these little dog clutches, so a spring with a little pad on them, and they're radiused around a little bit, and I've got 3 of them, and of course this is fairly easy moving around, right? So I'll put that there. Make sure I'm not getting no dirt in there. Then I've got to try these dog clutches, make sure that they sit in properly, and they sit in. The one's sitting in there a little bit too far. I'm supposed to do that. Just hang on that, otherwise it might fly. The one fits in there nicely and it comes up all the way. Okay. That one's nice. Hang on. Okay, there's the three of them sitting in there. Three protruding, they've got to be protruding, can't be stuck in there. Right. Now, these act as a clutch system, and they put pressure onto the surface here, and it sort of locks it up or tightens it up. So if I go around, locking them as I do, we should have a winner. Got it. So now there's a resistance, but because there's a gap here, this should not by any means foul up on the surface. So we make sure we bring that back. And find out where the indentation is. Not bad. That's not bad. So here it is, all complete. Now I'll mount it onto the lathe. It's just a few things I've done. This is the deluxe model. I don't know if you can see them, but there's a reading there and degrees reading here. It's a deluxe model, and just in case you have to go behind to do some work, something like that, you can do it. I would possibly give this the nods up, and hopefully it's going to be useful for me on the lathe the rest of my lifetime. A lathe in the backyard and in experienced hands is very good, very handy. But you must have all the fruit. And one thing you lacked was the compound slide. Now this compound slide can go any angle, but you only manually feed it like this. Now it's very smooth. Let's see what happens after a few times, a few weeks, as she wears in. I might have to do some adjustment, but it's very good. It's got oilers, got one oiler there, 2, 3 oilers, and it feeds the whey in there. Okay. Now I had these dovetails machined up on one piece. Now I had to cut them and fit them to here, so it run parallel with this. I mean parallel. We don't muck around. And I set it up, and what I did is I put a bit of paper in between that there and this there, and they give it about 1.5 thou. and it's just come out perfect. I'm very happy that it did. Now I can do some real work on the lathe.